This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends, what's going on? Today is Wednesday. It is May 24th. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. We are coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com, and we are all ready to go here this afternoon. So, Grande, Brown Man, we're just getting onto the radio. We'll be on television tonight between 7 and 8 p.m. Cox YurView, all through the state of California. All of our YouTube chatlins getting involved in our live YouTube chat right now, just getting on board. Glad you guys are here, and all the audio podcast listeners. Hey, we'll see you guys tonight, by the way. 8 o'clock is when the show starts. The Comedy Store, La Jolla, our man Jason Lawhead headlining, and Browner tonight going back to the previous script, which is no script. So Browner's got stage time tonight. Lawhead is headlining. It's like $10 to get in, and I expect to be down there by 8:15-ish. I'll see you guys at the Comedy Store tonight in La Jolla if you want to come hang out. All right, Browner, how you feeling?
Ready to roll.
Yeah, you're all ready?
Ready to go.
Ready to go. Oh, really? Really?
Yes,
That's
sir.
what you said last time.
Different circumstance.
Yeah.
Different circumstance, player.
All right. And Alex, we still have not been able to convince you. You said yesterday, candidly, you just don't want to go. You're just not interested. You don't think Browner's funny, the whole deal.
I never said I didn't think Browner was funny. I just said I'm just good.
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got to show up and support my guys tonight and my client, John Browner, the next Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
So I gotta show up for my client tonight.
Yeah, you have an investment in tonight.
Right. Yeah, I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm working. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, let me start off today's show. You know, we always warm up in the opening segment. You know, it's kind of like a show and tell for the class every day. And I got a couple of things I want to talk about here in this opening segment that's going to warm us up, going to loosen us up, and then we'll get into all this sports stuff. But I want to start off by saying to everybody who's a great friend, whether you're on YouTube or you're on radio or anywhere in between, I got to thank everybody, guys, for sending me positive vibrations yesterday. A lot of people sending me messages. They're like, bro, I don't know everything that's going on. I've heard you talk a little bit about it. I know you were in court all day on Monday. Man, I just hope everything's good with you, you know? And I just want to say to everybody, thank you for that, okay? I appreciate the positive vibrations that this show can bring and how it resonates out there and how you bring it back to me. You feel me? But now I got to pay it forward. You guys are not going to believe this story. Remember a couple weeks ago, I was telling you guys about I got new tires on my car. Alex, you said, hey, can I get the name of the gentleman who helps you?
Yeah.
Because you wanted to get, I don't know what the hell you needed to get. What did you need to get?
I'm going to need 2 new tires soon.
2 new tires, right?
Yeah.
And Browner, I think you even said, hey, I want to get this gentleman's name because I think you were looking for like a side mirror for your Honda. You know?
Listen, I need everything.
Yeah, I need everything.
Needs a new Honda.
Yeah.
Car.
Yeah.
Right. Penske San Diego, PenskeSanDiego.com. That's for you, Browner.
That's right.
I tell you guys a story. Here's the story. For many years, I have been going to get tires. You guys are wondering, listening right now, what the hell? Where are we going? Are we really talking about tires? No, we're not. We're talking about something about paying it forward. Here goes. So I'm telling you, it's been 15 years at least. I've been going to this place in Miramar, right across the street from the Marine base. And planes and F-18s are taking off all day long, right? I've been going to this place called Lee Rollins Firestone. There's a guy at Lee Rollins. By the way, all the guys who work there, they've all been listeners forever. They were old school 1090 listeners. They were Scott and BR listeners. They were great friends. And even when I was working in the mornings doing like KUSI hits for years, they were always watching on television. Every time I walked in there, these guys treated me like I was something special. Okay. And you guys know I'm not. This guy, Robert Estrada, is the guy who works the front desk there. You know, he's kind of one of the manager types, if you will. I gave you his name, Alex,
Yeah.
right? I gave
Mhm.
you his name. Did you ever speak to him?
No, not yet.
You guys aren't going to believe the story. This is absolutely effing crazy. I get a message on Instagram from Robert's daughter, and she's telling me this story that her dad, Robert Estrada, guy's been helping me forever, guy who's been a longtime great friend, guy who's a supporter, listener, viewer. I mean, everything we do follows, loves you two guys. Robert Estrada, man, Browner has grown on me all the years. I used to love this and love that. I love him now. Grande, nothing but compliments, nothing but love for you from Robert Estrada. Daughter sends me a message on Instagram asking me for a little bit of help to put the word out. I'm like, she tells me the story. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Next thing I know, I'm getting like voicemails on Instagram from Robert himself, who last night sent me a voicemail. Scott, I'm okay. And here's the story he tells me. He goes down to TJ. I don't know exactly what he was doing or why. Maybe he's got a place down there. I don't know. He gets freaking electrocuted. He touches a live wire in Mexico. Boom. He gets electrocuted. My man is lucky to be alive. But through all the surgery and through all the work that's being done on his body at UCSD to deal with having been electrocuted by a live wire in Mexico, lost his right hand.
Damn.
What?
Lost his right hand. He sent me this message last night, this voicemail. He's like, bro, I'm at UCSD. These doctors, this staff, they are taking impeccable care of me. They're doing incredible work. But I lost my right hand. Now, I mean, that you wake up that morning and you're like, hey, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to fix that. And then by later in the day, you're in the hospital and you've lost your right hand. Your whole life is different. And lucky to be alive. And my man says to me, he goes, hey, I'm a man of faith. He said, so I'm just thankful to be alive, But he lost his right hand. He's in the hospital right now. I'm like, hey, you taking visitors? Can I come see you? This ain't my best friend. This guy's been helping me with tires for freaking 15 years. But he's a great friend, and he's a supporter of what we do. And I'll just say this, Alex, maybe you could pull this up. But there's a GoFundMe for him that his family, and I don't know who established it, to be honest with you. I don't know, family, friends, I don't know. But here it is. And there he is wearing his Padres t-shirt. I mean, he's a huge Padres fan, was a big Charger fan. Thankfully, he's like us now. He's not into the Chargers anymore. But there he is. That's a regular dude right there working at this tire store for his entire career, really. And my man hit a live wire in Mexico, electrocuted himself, and has freaking lost his right hand. By the way, of course, I asked, yeah, he's right-handed.
That's wild, dude.
Is that not crazy, dude? Browner, what's with the face, man?
A lot of things could happen to you in Mexico. You lose a hand. Maybe you came up a couple ties short on some payment. Cost them some digits.
Well, I love your skepticism. I do. I can't help but be a natural-born skeptic myself. In this case, I don't think Robert Estrada went to Mexico and got Game of Thrones by the cartel. I think he legitimately...
It was a tire deal gone bad.
No, man. I think it was a legitimate electrocution and terribly sad.
I'm not an expert in cartel or any sorts of the matter, but if you just watch that news, I know you're big on the local news and the American news, but if you watch that news,
I don't speak Spanish.
The cartels don't operate with taking hands. They normally just take lives.
Yeah,
there's not really questions asked down there.
Right. They're not like, hey, we're chopping off your hand. Go get us those Firestones.
I don't know if you saw this last
weekend.
There was like a Baja 500 racers going down to San Felipe, and 12 of them got shot up at a gas station. So they're not really asking questions and taking hands down there.
Yeah.
They're
So look, here's what I want to say. It's a terribly tragic story. And Browner, I love the skepticism and cynicism and levity to the situation. I do. But I got to say, it's a sad, sad deal. But my man, Robert Estrada, from a hospital bed last night, sending me voice messages on Instagram Messenger. Hey, dude, just got out of surgery. Hey, bro, it's been like 6-7 surgeries in the last week. This all happened on May 10th. So this happened 2 weeks ago today. And out of surgery, sending me messages. I'm asking him if I can come see him. We'll see. But Alex, as far as this GoFundMe, how can people find this, or can we tweet it?
I'll put it in the description.
Oh, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you put it up on the screen one more time and just tell anybody who's listening how they can deal with this? I know that I'm asking for the visual, but I'm also asking for the audio side of it. All right, here Alex is putting it back up on the screen. What do people do? Do you have any idea? Because I clicked on a link.
Oh my God.
No, I clicked on a link. Do people? It's GoFundMe, right?
Yeah.
All right, so GoFundMe. The great friend's name is Robert Estrada, Estrada. And if you would like to make a donation, I know I'm going to, feel free. That's all. Robert Estrada. I don't ever really use GoFundMe. So I assume that when you go there, you probably use a search and then you find his name. That would be my guess.
But I'll put the description.
Do you know what just happened to my brain?
Tell me.
I totally forgot that we had the Alex GoFundMe.
Oh, that's right. We did have the Alex GoFundMe. It was to get him to Houston.
I got the money. Hold on.
No way. How much is in there?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I totally forgot about it.
That's funny.
Browner set up a GoFundMe to get Alex to Houston for the Final Four just so he could cheer on the Aztecs. And we never really I think we put it out there for like a day. It was just kind of a goofy thing. And Browner's like, no, I'm going to raise money to get Alex to Houston for the Final Four on a GoFundMe. And that, let's see, today's May 24th. Alex, when did we go to Houston? The beginning of April?
April 1st, I think, was the game. So, March 30th, April 1st.
Oh, my God.
Can I give Robert just a very quick advice for moving forward in his life?
Yeah, please do.
Bidet. Get one immediately.
Yeah.
If you were right-handed, bidet. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good advice.
I think it's great advice. As a bidet user, I can only imagine how helpful that would be going forward.
Let me ask you a question here. You ready, smart guy? Are you right-handed?
Yeah.
How about you, Brown?
Left.
Left-handed. If I told you had to live without your dominant hand,
yeah,
how would that, like, what do you do with your left hand or your non-dominant hand? Like, do you use your non-dominant hand for anything?
I use my non-dominant hand for everything on my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
I use my non-dominant hand to drink all of my drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And I use my non-dominant hand to drive a car.
Mm-hmm.
Left-handed steering wheel.
Yeah, me too. I'll tell you, I'll be honest. I mean, this is going to be a little disgusting and probably more information than anybody needs to know. But I use my left hand, like.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Did not need that. This is going on radio and television. You could have just not said that.
Right. But
nope.
And the reason I bring it up is because your advice of get a bidet, I started to think to myself, well, if I had to use my left hand, that might be kind of hard because my shoulder.
Nope.
This was the shoulder.
Guess it's called a stranger when you do that.
Guess why I got a bidet in the first place? Do you guys remember when I jacked up my wrist?
Yeah.
And I had to go get steroid injections into
when he said
I couldn't move it.
I know.
I legit.
I thought she was taking it to a whole other level.
Yeah. I literally had to go get a bidet because I was like, well, I'm not going to learn how to do that with my left hand.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is like that with my left hand seems hard. Thankfully, I do the other thing with my left hand. And so if you took my right, I mean, it would change my whole life. Bruh. Obviously, it's my dominant hand, but the one thing with the left.
Bruh.
What, bro?
I don't
No
ever
problem.
want to be. I don't ever want to be judged for taking this show in a different direction ever again.
Okay,
Yeah, I
fair enough.
agree.
Ever
Fair
I
enough.
agree.
again.
Fair
Ever
point. Fair
again,
point.
bro.
Fair point.
Ever again.
All right, so let me do this. Let me send a lot of love. Let me have all the great friends together. Okay.
Ever again.
Send a whole lot of love to my man Robert Estrada, who sadly electrocuted and lost his right hand. Thankfully, he's alive. He's at the UCSD Medical Center. He says they're taking incredible care of him, but sadly, he lost his right hand. There's a
I'm glad he's
GoFundMe.
doing well, man.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, listen, he hasn't had to go out of the hospital and live life yet, and I'm sure that's going to be dramatically different.
Yeah.
But it sounds like he's doing well, and that's awesome.
Hey, he's
They
alive.
also now they make a machine you can put your joint in and it'll take care of that. So for those people who are looking to get
I
him,
thought
a
we were
gift
moving
of
on.
some
I
sort.
thought we were
I
moving
mean, I
on,
thought
man.
you were. Yeah,
I didn't
come
open
on,
it. I
dude.
didn't
I
open
know,
it.
You
but
would
I thought
open
you
it,
were-
but you just keep digging
Yeah,
a hole
right.
down the
Right. Yeah. All right. So, hey, Robert, we're sending you love to your family. We're sending you love. Alex will put in the YouTube description how to reach the GoFundMe. And Alex, if you don't mind, if you could also put something out on social media, that would be appreciated.
Yes.
All right.
How do I send you this GoFundMe money?
Wait, how much is in there?
Totally $458.
Come on. There's $458. Damn.
Just sitting there. I have no idea how to send it to him. How do I send this to you? We'll talk about it off air.
All right. Hey, since we're warming up here, I'm going to say a couple of things. We're going to get to Padres and Nationals yesterday and game 2 of that series today. And by the way, while the Padres, have beaten the Nationals yesterday, is anybody paying attention to what's going on with the Dodgers? And the reason I ask is because honestly, now that the Lakers have been knocked out of the playoffs, I am now ready to start moving my attention into baseball.
It's quite frankly annoying
tell me.
what's going on with the Dodgers, to be honest.
I mean, they're on fire.
I mean, how they have the best records in the National League right now is dumbfounding to me.
How they've become the favorite to win the National League. I mean, when I say become the favorite, I mean that Vegas.
They were the favorite going into the season,
but they weren't a few weeks ago because Atlanta had overtaken. And this I'm just on.
You talking about live odds?
Yeah. So I want to talk some baseball because I think my mind is now ready to start focusing more energy towards baseball and less towards basketball. I'm going to get there in a little bit. Definitely going to talk some football today. There's so much talk about Aaron Rodgers and being in New York now with the Jets. And a local connection to that story is now the first team that's going to give local kid Matt Araiza another chance is possibly Aaron Rodgers' New York Jets. Matt Araiza, the former San Diego State punter, accused of everything, all that misconduct at San Diego State, cut by the Buffalo Bills after being drafted last year, looking like his career might be over just because of court of public opinion, even though, he's kind of put out a whole PR team of people going, you got nothing to do with it anymore. They dropped all the chart. Nothing's happening here. DA said they couldn't go forward. So we'll talk about that story, some football stuff coming up as well. So, hey, Alex, I did notice yesterday, though, that the gentleman, his name is Valencia. Robert Valencia. We got a Robert Estrada earlier, and now we got a Robert Valencia. Mm-hmm. This is the guy who sent you the tweet of the picture of him wearing the sustainable t-shirt with Peter Seidler. So I said to the guy on Twitter, I said, hey, man, you got to come on the show and tell the story. And he said, you already had this all arranged. Do you know the story yet?
I was trying to get him to just like film a video or something to tell me a story, but he sent me a long DM, and it's actually so I know the story now of how this happened. So Robert works at corporate for Petco, not Petco Park, like the store Petco. Mm-hmm. He says they were there with the Padres during the Bad Bunny concert last year, and they connected with them. Mm-hmm. So this last Sunday or Saturday, they had the suite tickets next to the owner's box.
Cool.
Peter Seidler was celebrating his mother's 90th birthday.
Nice, congrats.
In the owner's suite. Mm-hmm. He was wearing a hoodie, and he had a t-shirt on under his He had the sustainable shirt under his hoodie. So he took his hoodie off. He wanted to showcase, the shirt next to the owner's box when he noticed that Seidler was in there. He got someone's attention in the suite next to him. Mm-hmm. And that person grabbed Peter Seidler and walked him over to show him the shirt. And Robert, this is according to what he said. He said his eyes lit up. He was overjoyed with laughter. he said, and then Robert said, "This is from Scott Kaplan," which made him laugh even more. And he just said he loved it. And then Robert went on to like praise him about the financial commitment. And Peter Seiler said, "We will win a World Series. I will never hesitate financially. Sustainable."
Wow. Wow. What a story from Robert Valencia. And bro, cannot thank you enough for doing that. That's what I'm talking about. That's what, when I say brand ambassador and people just hear a phrase, that's a guy wearing the stuff, going to the subject, delivering the message of who it's from, and receiving that information and then telling all of us about it. That's brand ambassadorship, beautiful people.
2-0 since that picture was taken.
2-0. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, look, we're just getting underway. Robert Valencia, much love to you. Robert Estrada, much love to you. And to all the great friends, thanks for the positive messages that you've sent to me here in the last couple of days. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. We're just getting started. Alex says Padres are 2-0 since. Let's get to them next. This is Kaplan.
Hi, welcome to OG's.
Touching down this football season at OG's has never looked better. You can now eat pizza, drink beer, and earn rewards at select OG's locations. You won't miss a live game when you're watching at OG's. We're going all out, all game, all season long.
From New York City comes America's longest running and most popular rugby show. The biggest names in Major League Rugby, MLR highlights, and big match previews. Rugby Wrap-Up presents MLR Weekly, made in New York City.
Kaplan and Crew Tonight is brought to you by OG Sports Brewhouse Pizza, where you can eat pizza, drink beer, and earn rewards.
All right, great friends. Hey, we welcome you back inside the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. As promised, the head coach of the San Diego State basketball team. I'm wasting no time at all. Coach Brian Dutcher returns to Kaplan and Crew. Coach, how are you today?
Top of the world. I'm throwing out the first pitch tonight, so I'm good.
That is so cool. Have you ever thrown out a first pitch?
No, no, I haven't. I haven't won enough to throw out a first pitch. I guess I finally won enough to get a throw out one.
And have you?
You better get that arm ready there.
Yeah. Have you practiced at all, Coach?
No, I remember when Matt Sorey used to take Coach Fisher out and they'd throw some warm-ups, but I'm just going to lob it up there. I'm not trying to throw heat or anything.
You do know, though, that everybody's watching. Like, if it's a good one, we're all going to go, wow, great job, Coach. But if it's really bad, I mean, everybody's going to have this video. I mean, no pressure.
No, I saw Pete Kelsey bounce one in this week, so I already know what it is.
Oh, yeah. And you should have seen Browner here down at the Chula Vista Little League this past Saturday. Also couldn't get to the plate.
Maybe I'll just set one on like T-ball. I'll set one on a tee.
Coach, the obvious place to start is huge congratulations to you, your players, the program, San Diego State as an institution, all the players that came before this group that contributed to the growth of the program. Huge congratulations. How different is your life 10 days after the Final Four in the national championship game?
You know, Scott, I'm so used to working that we got back on Tuesday. I was in the office Wednesday morning, and we're recruiting. We're trying to build next year's team. So as much as I enjoyed it, I'm not a guy that ever over celebrates anything, even though it's something to be celebrated. I've got my eyes on next year and trying to put a team together that can be really good again.
Have you had a chance to think at all about, like, standing there on the floor inside a giant football stadium, knowing that you were on the biggest stage in college basketball? And as an assistant, you may have been there before a long time ago, but have you had any chance to just sort of think about what happened in those couple of days in Houston?
I always say, like, I'm a guy that likes to almost sit back and watch everybody enjoy the experience, but I enjoyed it myself too. You know, I told my assistant coaches on that elevated floor, I said, I'll see you guys at halftime. Make some notes. So it's a different experience to be up there and coaching on that stage on the biggest platform, and truly a platform, and just watching, taking the time to look out into the crowd and seeing all the great Aztec fan base there to enjoy it. First time experience for all of us, me as a head coach, San Diego State as a participant, in the city of San Diego, and just watch everybody kind of celebrate that moment, but at the same time, trying to figure out how to win games.
Yeah, it was an amazing run. It really was. Coach, I'd love to hear what you were thinking when Butler hit the shot that moved San Diego State from the Final Four to the championship game. Could you just go back to what was going on prior to that? Because everybody talked about there's still a timeout. Will he take it? Jim Nantz made mention on national TV. He doesn't have his shooters on the floor. Could you just go back to that sequence and what you were doing?
Yeah, it was like the possession before. We were down 3 and brought it up the floor, and I took a timeout. And I wanted to set up a play to try to get a 3 out of a sideline out of bounds. And if we didn't have the 3, throw it to Jaden Ledee and let him go one-on-one, because he just scored one-on-one. And then we scored that basket. I took another timeout, and I looked at the time difference on the clock, and I felt even if they shot the ball, we'd have enough time to get down the length of the floor. And I told him at that time, we are not taking a timeout. And I said, we don't have shooters on the floor. I have 3 bigs on the floor. So cause a miss, get the rebound, get it to Lamont, make sure they're not doubling back trying to intercept that pass. And then you 3 bigs run to the rim, because if he misses, we'll have 3 bigs in to tip it in. And then Micah Parrish, you find space in case he needs to kick for a 3. And so I kind of had a thought in my mind what I wanted to do. But obviously players make the plays in March. Lamont made a magnificent play. They cut him off. He kind of crossed over, came back, and shot a beautiful pull-up jump shot to make me look good as a coach and us look good as a team.
Coach, what made this team different from the other 2 teams that you got to the Sweet 16? Obviously, you played UConn, you played big teams in those tournaments as well. But what separated this team from advancing? Like when you beat Alabama, and I think a lot of people thought you could beat Alabama, but when you did it, and then you had this crazy game against FAU, what made this team different as opposed to the other ones you've had in the past?
Yeah, this is the greatest team in Aztec history because of how far they went and what they did. I'm not sure it's the best team. So there's a difference. I mean, that Kawhi Leonard team with Malcolm Thomas, Billy White, DJ Gay, that was a team capable of winning a national championship. The X-Thames team with Poe Lee and J.J. O'Brien, Josh Davis, Skylar Spencer, that was a really good team too. But sometimes it's just the path lays out. You win games. And I'm just thinking back, like the other 5 seed was St. Mary's. They played UConn in the second round. What if we're that 5 seed and we play UConn in the second round and get beat? And we're talking about, hey, great, Dutcher got his first tournament win. But it just laid out for us where the path wasn't easy, but we took advantage of the path we had.
Coach, you have had the governor of California tweet about you, the vice president tweet about you, and you've got you guys had the city on fire for the program. How has that changed anything that you're doing going forward? And has it opened the door for the recruiting process to become a little bit bigger and a little bit better?
This is the talk we had back when we had Kawhi Leonard, Malcolm Thomas, Billy White. We won at such a level, they said, well, boy, you're really going to be able to go out and get some players now. We have players that just went to the national championship game. So we'll continue to recruit how we do. Recruit guys with chips on their shoulders that have a lot of potential, that are about the right things. And I like the way we've recruited over the years. So we'll continue to do what we do. Maybe it put us in front of a different kid or two. But for the most part, we've got good enough players in this program to win in any conference and at any level.
Talking to Coach Brian Dutcher this afternoon. It's Kaplan and Crew, and Coach Dutcher is with us. We're still talking about this San Diego State run. And, Coach, I was telling the guys, we're not going to stop. You know, I want to keep talking to these kids. I want them to be known commodities in this town. We know their names, want to know their stories, want to know more about these guys. Because like you said, by virtue of what they accomplish, it's the greatest San Diego State basketball team ever. It doesn't necessarily mean it was the most talented or the best, but I want to keep going with these guys because they really did something special. And I just got to say that this Final Four run, it really entranced the whole city was into it. Like I've never seen anything like it before. And when Butler hit that shot, coach, that is like one of the top 5 moments in the history of San Diego sports. Does everybody have a grasp on that quite yet?
No, and they asked me at the time how big Butler's shot was. I said, if we win the whole thing, they'll remember it nationally forever, but it'll never be forgotten in San Diego. So that shot will live in San Diego for as long as San Diego State is playing basketball and the city embraces college basketball. So it was an incredible moment. Nationally, it'll be remembered, but not like it would have if we won the whole thing.
Yeah, that's true. One of the best things is there's a picture of Lamont Butler and he's letting go of the ball. And for us, just being a little selfish, our man Alex here is standing in the background with his arms raised before the ball has even gone through the net. It was awesome.
I knew it was going in, Coach. Never had a doubt in my mind. I don't know about you, but I was confident from the stands.
Well, I'm thinking, is there time left on the clock? What do I have to do? I mean, I put both arms up, but then I was like, what if they put 0.2 of a second on the clock? So I'm still in coach mode. And the same thing can happen against UConn. To go to the Final Four, we really didn't get to celebrate. It's like they're going to put time on the clock. I'm convinced of it. So we have no timeouts. If it's their ball, here's what we're going to do to keep Kalkbrenner from throwing to the rim and getting a lob to tip in to beat us. If it's our ball, we want to throw deep. So all we have to do is touch it. And then the refs come over and say, no more time. So it's like a anticlimactic celebration to go to the Final Four. Mm-hmm. And same thing with Florida Atlantic. It's like, I'm convinced they're going to put time on the clock. They always do. And so when that moment happened, Dusty May was trying to shake my hand before the refs ruled it good. I said, Dusty, I'm not that guy. I want to make sure they count it before, we shake hands and we start celebrating.
Coach, I thought the most impactful thing throughout the tournament was I saw your team's true identity come to the surface. The amount of defense, the 40 minutes of defense from end to end that your team was able to play throughout each game, you could see it was frustrating these other teams you guys were playing because they were used to guys playing like that maybe a couple minutes a game, maybe a half. But when you guys were pressuring guys like that and defending like that the entire time, I think you guys wore a lot of people down. Were you able to get the guys to see that through film study? And did they pick up on it? Or was this just something that all year you guys were doing?
It's just our culture. Like when we do a shooting drill early in the year, like we want to make 120 in 2 minutes or whatever that is. And if we don't make it, a lot of coaches say, okay, on the line, down and back. And I'll say, okay, on the line, we're going to do some defensive slides. We're going to do shuffles. We're going to do this and that. Because I tell them there's games where as open as we are, the ball's not going to go in. How are we going to win those games? When we're wide open, it's a great shot. It doesn't go in. Those are the games we're going to win with our defense. So it's just a mindset. It's a culture that we're going to be defense first. And as open as we are, sometimes the ball does not go in. And we're one of a handful of teams that are going to win games when the ball doesn't go in.
See, going into this tournament, Coach, and you know this well, but the country learned about it. Going into the tournament, you were 0-3 in the NCAA tournament as a head coach at San Diego State. Now you're 5-4.
Going over 500. That's not very good.
well, hey, it's better than being under 500. It's better than being 0-3. That all happened in one tournament. And what I thought was really interesting is how we have gotten the chance to see the development of the program. For a lot of America, people are like, wow, San Diego State. And then what they start to do is they say this, Brian Dutcher, one of the top college basketball coaches in the country. Like they start to talk about you differently. Are you a much better coach at 5-4 in the NCAA tournament than you were when you were an 0-3 record?
Well, hopefully I'll get paid like a better coach. But
Coach,
I've always been. Richard, our sports information director, I asked Richard because I didn't know. I said, how many NCAA tournament games have I been on the bench? Not head coach, been on the bench. I think it was like 56 NCAA tournament games. So I just say now I'm 63. I know a lot more at 63 than I knew at 53, than I knew at 43, than I knew at 33. Even though at that time I thought I knew everything. Mm-hmm. So if you can survive in this business, those experiences pay off. And so I chose my path wisely. I knew I wanted to retire as a coach. Sometimes you think you're going to be the coach that takes a lesser school and resurrects it. And in 3 years, you're out of work and you can't find a job. So I thank Coach Fisher for keeping me along for that ride for so long. And, I was patient until I got the job I wanted, which was this one.
Yeah. I want to ask a very open-ended question to you, Coach. And it maybe has to do with pay, maybe has to do with assistants, maybe has to do with conference. what is the future of this program now? Obviously the rumors of Pac-12, Big 12 realignment, assistant coaches could get poached when you make a national championship run. We all know which players are coming and which players are leaving. What is the future of this program?
We've been in the Mountain West my whole time here, and I always say we're a high major program in a non-Power 5 conference. I'm trying to paint us like Gonzaga. Gonzaga's in the WCC, but they're looked at as a high major program. I think the West Coast always believed that San Diego State plays high major basketball, but now the nation's kind of been made aware of that. So I think it's upped our branding in the nation. West Coast, it's always been good. So if we make a conference move, I'm not stressed over it. I know we're a good enough program to survive wherever we end up. And whether it's in the Mountain West, we'll continue to have a high major program in the Mountain West. If we're in the Pac-12 or Big 12, our intention is just to compete at the highest level in those conferences. So those all happen at a level beyond me. Whatever decisions are made by John David Wicker and President De La Torre, I'm in support of, and wherever we end up, whether it's staying here or moving on, we'll be ready for that challenge.
Coach, you guys you spoke about this actually when the interview first began about getting back to the business of coaching. You were already recruiting again. With the transfer portal being such a vital process to San Diego State before it became a national thing, before guys started talking about all this talks about transfer portal, you guys were already locked in and recruiting that way, using transfers to build the program. Now that everybody is such a focal point of the transfer portal, has it changed the way that you guys operate within it?
It's all NIL. NIL is everything in the portal right now. And, some of these players are being offered $260,000. If you're a big center, you might get $1 million, like a Dickinson or a kid at Kentucky. And so there's a lot of money being thrown around in the portal. And so we have to navigate that. We're not throwing that money away. We're not paying like that.
Yeah. Hey, Coach Dutcher, congratulations to you, to your family, to the program, to the players, et cetera. Really amazing job. We really appreciate you always. And thanks for doing this with us today. And by the way, good luck with your first pitch tonight at the Padres game.
Well, the only way you'll see it is if I throw it in the dirt.
Kind of rooting for that, just like a little bit.
I know. I knew if anybody would be, it'd be you.
Hey, Coach, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, and congrats.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Kaplan and Crew Tonight is brought to you by OG Sports Brewhouse Pizza, where you can eat pizza, drink beer, and earn rewards.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
Hi, welcome to OG's.
Touching down this football season at OG's has never looked better. You can now eat pizza, drink beer, and earn rewards at select OG's locations. You won't miss a live game when you're watching at OG's. We're going all out, all game, all season long.
Murray Lampert now brings architectural and interior design to a whole new level for your remodel, ADU, or whole house build.
We're truly a team at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and we don't take that lightly.
Visit murraylampert.com.
All right, everybody. Hey, what's happening? It's Wednesday. Today is May 24th. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. We come to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. I'm super, super stoked on a few different things here on this Wednesday afternoon. One, tonight, Browner performing stand-up comedy at the Comedy Store in La Jolla. And our man Lawhead is headlining. Lawhead stopping by in the next segment. And in that segment, we'll get Lawhead's basketball opinions as the LeBron-Lakers season comes to an end. And Boston trying to battle back by beating Miami last night. Miami's now got a 3-1 lead. We'll get a little NBA playoffs in with Lawhead coming up. But for those of you that are thinking about it, okay, tonight, 8 o'clock is showtime. Comedy Store La Jolla. I will be there. Browner performing, Lawhead performing. Those are the reasons to come, not because I'm going to be there. And we'll see you tonight. And if you want to hang out, we look forward to seeing you tonight. I really, really would like to see you guys. I know it's Wednesday and it's a school night, but these guys got to get some stage time. And in a comedy club like this, let's all get out there and support our guys. That's the first thing I'm psyched about. The second thing I know this is going to sound really ridiculous. It is. But you know how, Browner, like we give you a hard time when there's an ad in the front page of the sports section of the Union Tribune, and people who are still holding an old school paper newspaper, like we think it's cool that our ad is in the bottom of the newspaper and you'll like frame that stuff. I don't really get hyped on that. But to have somebody wear one of our t-shirts, go to a Padres game, run into Peter Seidler, take a picture and show him the t-shirt, and then deliver the message, this is a piece of merch from Kaplan and Crew, Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, John Browner. You remember those guys. And Peter's like, remember them? I freaking listen to them every day. Alex, if you could put my
Peter.
man. Yeah, thank you, Peter.
What
We
up,
appreciate
Peter?
that. Yo.
Spinning that money.
Robert Valencia, you are the man. You are the man. No doubt about it. Freaking goes right up to Peter Seidler. Take a look at this, Peter. Peter thinks it's hilarious. And then Robert says to him, yeah, this is from Kaplan and Crew. And Peter thinks it's even more funny at that point. Appreciate you, Peter. We do. All right. Fellas, this segment is being brought to us by our friends over at MedCline, medcline.com/greatfriends. Rick Slider, who's the CEO, is supposed to join us later this week because now we're getting a lot of people who are sending us messages that they've bought the MedCline sleep system. And without exaggeration, it has changed people's lives. Because if you can't sleep, bro, you're not productive the next day. You don't feel good. And if you're waking up in pain, shoulder pain, chest pain, back pain, this MedCline system, it was designed for people who have acid reflux problems or shoulder problems, but we're hearing results from people who have different sort of medical issues or physical issues that, cause them to not be able to sleep. You get 20% off when you go to medcline.com/greatfriends. Rick will join us later in the week. Crazy Padre fan and probably wants to talk about what's going on, which leads us to what is going on. You know what? Going back to Washington yesterday for Juan Soto, I thought that was pretty cool. And if you start to think about the numbers, Juan Soto is starting to heat up. Maybe it's been a little under the radar, at least from where I sit, because I've been more focused on basketball. Like for me, baseball season is about to really start, and we're about 50 games in. But Grande, there he is. I mean, in the month of May, Juan Soto, he has picked it up when many of us complained about his early start to the season. What do you say?
Yeah, I think the panic is over for Juan Soto in the month of April because in May he's hitting .343, 4 home runs, 11 RBIs, on-base percentage of .459, OPS of 1.116. He's raised his batting average 58 points this month from 202 to 260.
Nice.
So yeah, I think he's what would you say? Fixed?
Well,
was he broken?
I mean, those are the sorts of numbers that you expect. I mean, if you're going to be a guy who's got the guts to turn down a $400+ million contract, and everybody thinks you're going to be a greater than $400 million contract player, those are the kinds of numbers that people expect. Maybe even a little bit better than that too. It's good. It's good. It's not like tomorrow he's going to the Hall of Fame because he hit 4 home runs in the month of May. But it's
I think
good.
the baseball nerds also are talking about, and I know this is, I'm wearing my glasses today, so I guess I'm ready to go. I guess they're just crediting that he's not trying to pool everything. And that was the big reason of why he was slumping so much. He was trying to get everything pooled. And right now, obviously that home run last night, dead center. So he's kind of working the field. And that's what made him so great as a hitter, was that if you watched his spray chart, wow. It covered
spray chart.
It covered the whole field. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Can we, maybe
A
Alex,
spray chart?
Maybe you should have brought his spray chart because
chart.
Listen, when I look at like the NBA playoff games, Browner got out the nerd goggles.
Yeah,
there he is.
Spray chart. Spray chart.
I mean, you look at shot charts in the NBA, don't you, Browner?
Spray chart. Who looks at shot charts?
Do you not look at shot charts?
Never. For what? What is going on here today?
Bro, you got to do this on stage where you bring your nerd goggles up and you sort of Urkel out on a mofo.
Bro, they don't do Urkel no more. They don't do Urkel.
Nobody knows who
we
Steve
can't do
Urkel is
that
anymore.
Well,
right.
You're like this tall, skinny, African-American nerdy guy, Just at times.
I
It's
don't.
just when you break out your nerd goggles. Beep bop, boop bop, beep bop.
If I did some form of like a sketch show, I would definitely do that. I don't think that is in the repertoire for the stage performance.
No, but you create a character. You're like the tall black nerd guy. You know what I mean?
That
Like
could
in
be
this,
true.
just in this character, you know, and then you put on the goggles and you got the beep
That's
bop,
true.
beep bop, and people then kind of take to that. They're like, oh, I know that line. Beep bop, beep bop.
That could probably work.
By the way, quick little side note, Alex is probably looking through spray charts right now.
No, I got it. I'm just trying to edit it.
Okay.
For the,
Oh.
trying to,
Just want to say something. Quick little side note.
Oh, spray chart.
Yesterday, I told you that I was kind of working on a couple of stand-up routines, thinking about, maybe introducing you one day, right? And the conversation we were having about walking with your lady, my girlfriend cuts me off all the time. If she and I are walking side by side and I'm going straight and she's going straight, but she decides she's going left, she doesn't say to me, hey, let's go left. She legitimately cuts me off and I have to stop. So then I say, well, you know what? You lead. I'll follow. She's walking in front of me and then stops on a dime. And then I got to stop. And then the person behind me's got, it's like walking with your lady is not it's not fun, because I'm telling you, my girlfriend, especially going left, always cuts me off. Darth Navarro of Temecula, a long time great friend, told me via Twitter that we're killing him yesterday talking about walking with our ladies because he got the same problem.
I think all men have the same problem.
Yeah.
If she's in a wheelchair, she probably walks the same way. Rolls, rather.
You mean to tell me that if you're dating a woman in a wheelchair and you're walking side by side with her, she probably just cuts you off left without saying, hey, let's stop and turn left?
Same thing. Same problem. Same woman brain.
Yeah, probably. Grande, you got some spray charts for her, brother?
This is a 2023 spray chart.
Oh, wow.
So you notice everything is being pulled to the right side?
Mm-hmm.
Not what made him successful in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Known for using the entire field. So that is what the baseball nerds are crediting what he's been doing lately, is that it's kind of moving more towards center, getting away from pulling everything.
You know what I wish they would tell me in this spray chart? I mean, if we're really going to break it down in the nerd style, beep bop, boop bop, beep bop.
Yeah.
Like, it would be interesting to know the dates. Like at the bottom here, it tells you the outs, singles, doubles, triples, and home runs.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be interesting to know the dates so that if you say to me, hey, he's trying to pull everything too much.
Yeah.
Okay, in the month of April, here's where everything was. But in the month of May, don't you see the difference between April pulling and May using the whole field? That's some nerdy ass stuff right there, Browner.
I don't know.
What are you choking on?
When did the nerd sound go from beep bop, boop bop to
choking on?
No, so you gotta understand that when they do the numbers, these aren't numbers. So when you do the numbers, that's when the bebop comes in. This is the spray chart. So this is just, brain. Yeah.
Here's his 2021 spray chart.
Look at that 2021 spray chart. That's a nice spray chart.
He used the entire field.
Boy,
look at all the home
nice
runs to the left side. Look at all the home runs to the left side. Look at all the singles.
Look at the singles everywhere.
And this is his 2021 season when he hit 313 and turned down $450 million. So, yeah.
Wow.
You can see the
my only question would be, why did he start pulling to the right? What led to him believing that this was a better way to get hits as opposed to him going full field? I think I know why he started hitting like that.
What's your thought? What you're thinking? I mean, I know I have a thought immediately. Yeah,
Petco.
Like you think you can pull the ball out of the right field line at Petco because there's that the right field line comes out right. I mean, straight down the line there is that shorter porch, and then as it makes its way around, it gets a little bit deeper.
Isn't it wild how little amount of home runs get hit there, though?
Right. Like, so why try and do it?
Yeah,
because people are trying to do it. They see it, and so they go for it as opposed to just hitting the baseball as the baseball comes to you. And so it leads to you kind of changing your swing and all these other things people think is wrong with it, when it just could be because he struggled when he got here, because he was probably out there in right field going, damn, this is not that far. I'm going to kill this right field wall.
I could throw the ball to home plate. I could hit it further than that.
Exactly. But all the while, it was messing with his brain because he was trying to hit it in a particular way, as opposed to just doing what he did in Washington because their outfield is just a normal outfield. So he was just hitting the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, here we are.
Yeah.
Or maybe now there's no. How much does he look at his shift too, and the lack of shift?
Also,
like how
true.
much does that influence?
That's pretty good thought.
Yeah.
That hey, you can't shift anymore.
Isn't it funny how little I haven't even heard a single conversation about the shift being banned this year. Not one.
Because it's gone, and now people are getting more hits. The game's fun.
Well, not the Padres.
But but think about it. If we're actually, I can't believe we're doing this, but if we're analyzing a hit chart, there you go. Put on the beep bops. The
beep
fact
bop,
is,
beep boop.
without the shift,
let me look this up.
Without the shift, you probably would be thinking to yourself, well, since there's no shift over there, I want to put it on the right side of the field. I want to pull the ball. So it does make sense that the mind is thinking, A, short porch, I can hit it out of here. B, there's no shift, so I want to put everything to the right side. That's kind of stands to reason to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to go back and see what kind of shift was even implemented on Soto. If he's spraying the ball everywhere, can you even use a shift on him? So it's just interesting. But I think what Browner's saying has some validity to it. I think his level of just being comfortable here now. He's been here long enough. He's been a member of the team long enough now where there has to be some comfort growing in. He talked about how, the Nationals fired their manager and then he came over here and then it was a whole new coaching staff. So there was just a lot of changes last year. This year obviously started off slow, but now it looks like he's kind of coming into his own. Yeah. He hasn't made any real dumb blunders in left field that I can think of recently.
Yeah, hasn't had a ball hit him right in the glove and just bounce right out.
Not, it did happen early May, but not so much recently. So that's good to see.
Yeah. Well,
also when you said go for it, yesterday, did anybody have a mild panic attack when CJ Abrams hit a home run and here we go?
Oh yeah.
Jed Jerko 2.0, another freaking former Padre going after, and then Gore. I mean, obviously he gave up 3 right away, but when Abrams hit the home run, I got texts already. Oh, that Soto trade.
Yep. Well, and it was, again, we joked yesterday that it was Mackenzie Gore who would pitch a shutout yesterday against the Padres, but it was Abrams who little less on my radar yesterday.
Yeah. And somebody was like, well, he's got more RBIs than any Padre this year. It's okay. But I mean, that's the issue with the Padres is they keep getting guys on base and they don't do anything. That's literally the issue. And yesterday, I think they got 1 hit with a runner in scoring position, but they're hitting home runs right now, and that's all that matters. So,
well, how about yesterday when Soto gets up to hit and the ovation that the Washington fans give him? That was, listen, I got to say, guy was part of a World Series champion there and didn't want to take their money and be on a bad team where all the money was just spent on him. Took the trade. Now he's in a big money market, I guess, right? Isn't he? Isn't that what San Diego is?
Isn't that fascinating too? Because he turned down their money. Yeah. He turned down their record amount of money. Mm-hmm. Yes, he got traded, and I always said that about Adrian Gonzalez. This dude got traded. You lowballed him, and then you left, traded him. So I think it's pretty fascinating that he got this ovation, though.
That's nice. Good for him. Good for Juan Soto.
And I guess he told his teammates yesterday, his former teammates yesterday, he's like, I'm gonna hit a home run today. And he
delivered.
Yeah, he was like, I don't care. He said something post game I don't care about anything besides with the name on my chest. And I was like, I like that attitude.
He got that ovation because of a little something called the World Series trophy. That earned him that.
Right. We kind of understand that.
It has nothing to do with him turning down the money.
No,
the money has nothing to do with it.
No, we're saying that he was welcomed home by the fans
as he
where he won a World Series and they showed him the love. They're not booing him like, hey, you turned down all of our money and now you're out of here and now you're on the opposing team. No, they were like, hey man, here's the love.
We San Diegans, because I wasn't involved in this. San Diegans cheered for Adrian Gonzalez when he came back here, and he's playing for the Dodgers.
No doubt. And it made no sense. He didn't
Right.
he didn't win a World Series, even if he was from San Diego, and even with all the success he had. But I was just about to say that, Alex. You know what we should do is we should call Adrian and get him on the show. We haven't had him on in a while. In fact, we haven't had him on this baseball season yet. And the Dodgers, as great as it is to see the Padres, okay, great. You know, you lose 2 out of 3 of the Dodgers, but at least you win the 3rd game and you salvage 1. And then you go on the road and you get the first win of the series against Washington. And by the way, Washington's not good. You know, I want to right away call them terrible. They're a last place team in their division, and they're, 7-8 games under 500. But the Padres are 4 games under 500 and sitting in 4th place. And we're like almost 50 games into the season. So I'm with you, Alex. I'm going to stop saying it's early because look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers are 31-19, and they've won 2 straight games over Atlanta, who is much, much better.
Not only
Washington.
that, but with players making their debut pitching.
Dodgers had a kid make a debut last night. Is that what you're telling us?
Gavin Stone pitched on Monday.
Mhm.
I'm trying to figure out the other dude's name.
Yeah, they have a guy, I think it's today, that's a young up-and-coming guy.
Bobby Miller yesterday.
Oh, it was yesterday?
Yeah, 5
Okay.
innings, 5 strikeouts.
Wow. All right. Nice.
That's very annoying.
Well, right, because, I mean, when you've got a Dustin May who's hurt because, he came back too quickly from Tommy John, and you've got a Walker Buehler who's had Tommy John last year and won't contribute at all this year, and, all of a sudden, Julio Urias is recently on the, the IL, I guess.
List.
Yeah, so they're starting pitching. I mean, they got Clayton Kershaw and a bunch of young kids, really. I mean, I guess
Kershaw got beat up over the weekend in St. Louis. I mean, they did lose 3 or 4 in St. Louis, and you kind of think like, oh, this could be, where they can tumble a little bit because now they're going to Atlanta. They have to throw 2 rookies out there, and yet somehow their offense scores back-to-back 8 runs. There you go.
Right.
Isn't it amazing what offense can do for you? Because yesterday and Sunday, the Padres scored 7 runs both games. They win. Yu Darvish didn't look great. Still got the win because when your offense gives you some runs and gives you a chance, then you can win some games. But if you're going out there and getting shut out every 3 games and you're out there scoring 1 run and you're getting hitless on runners in scoring position, you're not really helping your pitchers do much there. And that's exactly what the Dodgers have done this season is their pitching hasn't been fantastic by any means. And their bullpen has struggled, but their offense just keeps putting up runs.
Yep, I know. And when you lose a guy like Trey Turner and you lose a guy like Justin Turner, and the year before that, you lost a guy like Corey Seager, and these bats have not exactly been replaced per se. And, you lose your shortstop in the first day of spring training. I mean, everything that has gone wrong, or so it seems, for the Dodgers, or everything that they've lost, and they're sitting there at 31-19, and they're in first place.
They've scored the most runs in the National League, where the Padres have scored the 2nd fewest runs in the National League.
Wow. How about that, man? Wow, those are good numbers. Browner, you might want to put the goggles back on. Those are good numbers.
I think runs is okay, right? I could talk about runs.
Runs are totally pedestrian. It was a great conversation. You're going to talk about stats. If you want to do runs batted in, stolen bases, batting average, home runs, those things are very, very pedestrian. Those are perfectly fine.
How about run differential?
I could take
perfectly fine.
Yeah,
I can differential is perfectly fine. Yes.
Let me throw another one.
Let's see how far we can go to the edges with this. Run differential is fine.
The Dodgers have the biggest run differential in the National League at plus
That's
57.
Fine.
Okay.
Plus
That's
57.
easy to follow. I don't need a calculator for that.
The Padres are not. They're just right there. -5, right in the middle.
Boy, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
No,
it is.
Here and there.
You have the number 3 payroll, and all your stats are in the bottom half and down towards the bottom, as we've talked about. That's not good, man.
I mean, that run differential is funny, though, because, I mean, the Rays had the largest run differential in all of baseball, and they got blown out yesterday. Was it 20-2 or something? And now they don't. That's just
right. Well, just set up tonight's game, and then we'll get going.
Yeah. Tonight, it is Ryan Browner's boy Weathers taking on Trevor Williams. Weathers been pretty decent this year. 1-2, 3.42 ERA. Padres 3-3. Padres 3-3 in all 6 of his starts this year. The Nationals 2-5 in their last 7.
All right. Hey, coming up, comedian Jason Lawhead. I say comedian, guy who's on the show all the time, fills in when one of us is out. He's got a show tonight at the Comedy Store in La Jolla. Lawhead's going to come on and talk about tonight's show and some NBA playoffs next. This is Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.